Recording in progress.
You ready to do this?
I'm ready to do this.
I don't know. Seems like we're both not in the mood today.
Well, we both.
Is that good or bad for our ratings? Hey, you know what? We have so many followers now. I think the last time we recorded was August 28th. Can you believe that? And here we are in October. We did a bunch. But since then, we have grown so huge that it doesn't even tell, it just says 1.06 uh, followers. Like it doesn't say 1,065 or now we're so huge it's waiting for us to hit the
We're with the big
2,000
boys
number.
now. I
Yeah,
was
we're
carrying
we're
this laptop down to my office and it seemed heavier, and I think it's because there's more followers.
yeah.
Uh,
Hey, it was great to be with you though. We were out in Oregon together doing our Oregon workshop. That was a lot of fun. Lots of nice folks out there.
yeah, the Oregon coast, I hadn't been for about 5 years since, well, 2019 and COVID. So it
Really?
was a real treat to go back. You
Well,
forget how
because
beautiful,
you've been going there for a long time, right?
you forget how beautiful it is, the Oregon coast. It's really pretty amazing.
And it's reasonably diverse too. There's a lot going on out there. We were from Bandon up to what? Yeah, I gotta say this right. Yahats.
Yeah.
It's not Yahats, it's Yahats, I think. Man, I got in big trouble because I didn't say it right.
Yeah, and I go further. I go down to the California border and up to Newport. So it's there's a lot more to be seen too. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
place. Yeah,
it's
and
a
not
it's a
crowded.
it's a lot of fun. Once I left you, it was interesting. I went back to your home state to Colorado to meet up with a group there. We did some fall color. It's really funny because I told Cole wrote to me and he says, "How is the fall?" And he wrote just the letter C with dot dot dot. He couldn't even say the word color as a black and white photographer. It made me laugh.
I'd lose my black and white credentials if
Your
I used that word.
credentials, yeah.
Yeah.
You lose your black and white, card.
So it's
Hey,
really interesting in all of these workshops or tours to see the how people work. There's
yeah,
always a cluster, because I think when you get to a new location, there's always something there that it draws a lot of people. And then there's one or two who are wandering off by themselves and they don't interact much on the photography side while we're out shooting. They're off doing their own thing, kind of lone wolves. And I kind of relate to that because
yeah.
if everybody's drawn here, I don't want to be there. I figure it's been done, it's obvious, and somebody else is just, and I know they've not been there before, so it's not. What do you think that is?
Well, that is interesting. I do think that there's well, I mean, there's probably more than two groups, right? I think there's probably lots of different personalities, and there's some who want to be near us because they're interested in
Hmm.
learning from us or wanting to know what we're seeing. Because I've gotten that feedback before. I used to not photograph as a leader. I do some now because people have asked. They want to see what I'm being taken by, rather than only their stuff. Then it's interesting. Some want to look through your viewfinder. Some want you to look through their viewfinder. An old favorite friend of ours, by the way, was over in Colorado, Barry. you
Was
know,
he with you? Oh, hi, Barry.
and Don was supposed to be there, but Don had an
Oh,
issue that he had to take care of.
yeah,
So
I heard
because
about
Don
that.
does the best Barry impression ever. And then you do have those who just prefer to work on their own. They really don't want instruction. And it's interesting when I ask those folks, they're there because of the camaraderie. They're there because they like to ride and have a social experience as well and ride in a car with other people and eat meals together, talk shop, be with groups who are focused on photography, not have to worry about the family saying, "Are we done yet?" Are we moving on? That type of thing, but they just like to be out on their own. Our friend David Kaplan, who you remember from, um, I guess Death Valley is where he was there, and he just loved being on his own, and doing his own thing. And got some great images, by the
Oh,
way.
he sent me one. I was very jealous of it. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I
And so
guess I
once,
relate to them to my own feelings that they want to see how they see and not how the group sees. And I like that.
yeah,
We think we've always had at least one person who's off on their own.
yep, then we have to go find them typically, right? Well, let's just kind of explore that for a minute. I mean, when we love talking about expressive photography and being taken by things rather than grasping and chasing things. You know, how about you? You know, comments below, if you will. I mean, do you find yourself wanting to be by yourself? Is it easier for you to create expressive type images, or is there something that happens when you're with a group of others? Does that help inspire you? Does that help motivate you? Just curious. I know I hear this comment a lot on a tour. Man, I would never be getting up this early if it wasn't for you telling me we got to get up this early. You know, a lot of people, they'd be sleeping in. You'd be one of them because you hate those mornings. But customers as well are, you know, they're not big fans of morning getting up early, but they're thrilled and happy when something magical happens. So I do think that's a benefit of being in the group.
Well, I think that you should probably advertise a late morning tour and see if you get more sign-ups. I suspect you would.
That would be interesting. Hey, by the way, this tour will not start until 10 a.m. in the morning and we'll finish before sunrise. No sunrises and sunsets available on this tour.
Well, sunsets are okay because you're up, but boy, those mornings. You know, I talked to a lot of the people and said, "Is this your first time in Oregon?" And they said, "Yes." So, you know, we take them to a spot, and there's usually going to be something that draws the eye.
Yep.
And some say that you've got to just shoot those iconic shots, get them out of the way so that you can look more deeply or look differently or find something that resonates with you, not just the big banger shot. Yeah. So maybe it's a part of the process of getting through that.
Yeah, that very well could be. Because I know if I go back to my taking workshops, man, I remember pestering Tony Sweet all the time. What lens? What lens should I get out at this stop? Because I just didn't know.
Barry, what f-stop?
Yeah, not very. What f-stop? What filter are you using? You know, but I did all that. You know, it takes time to get to where you have confidence, I think, to be able to say, oh, I think this is a medium telephoto shot or it's a wide angle shot. So I do think being around the group helps me to feel a little more, it did help me to feel a little more confident. And I would look through everybody's viewfinder until one day my buddy Farrell McCullough said to me, we're going to South Africa. He says, you're not allowed to look through one viewfinder. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, no, seriously, I want you to come back from this trip to South Africa with images that are yours, not inspired by anybody else, but they're your images. And you know what? That was a pivotal moment in my photography. It changed me from, well, it gave me confidence, number one, because when I came back and looked at those, whatever, 86 rolls of film, I was really happy. And I realized, hey, I can do this. I don't have to look through somebody else's viewfinder to make good photographs. It was huge.
So do you think that when someone goes on a photo tour, they feel this pressure to come home with something? You know, I've spent money, I've spent time, I've gotten up early, I've traipsed through the woods. I need to come home with something significant. And that pressure might, I don't know, make them focus on what everybody else is shooting so they can come home with a great shot.
Well, yes, the answer is a resounding yes. They do feel, I mean, I've spent money, I better come home. And we always have the conversation during the trips. It seems like every trip. Ansel, the quote is, hey, Ansel said, you know, if I got 12 good gallery worthy images a year, that was a great year. And I try to remind everybody that you're here for 5 days of shooting, you know, and if you get one, you should be really happy. If you get more than that, it's a bonus. And that's why as a leader, man, it's great when you have one great moment, you know, when the light's great or mist and fog comes in like we had in Oregon. You know, then everybody's partying and I relax because I realize they've had one good moment, right? Where they're all really happy because of the special atmospherics that have happened. But yes, I do. And that's interesting. I've not quite thought about it that way. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. I bet they are feeling pressure that they've spent this money. They better find, you know, man, we better find good things. But as you and I have talked in the past, as soon as you put that pressure on yourself, your ability to see more deeply is destroyed.
Yeah, I can't imagine coming home and your spouse says, well, you just spent all that money. Did you get anything good? And you go, no. You know, I really didn't get. I think maybe I've been going through mine, maybe 2 images, maybe 3 from that trip.
Wow.
And I would think that was kind of a failure if I only had 2 or 3. But now I don't feel that way. Lucky to have gotten anything.
Yeah.
and just enjoyed the experience of being on the coast. There, I don't know what it is. I think we all feel that way. There's something special about being near water,
Oh,
especially the coast.
yeah, absolutely. It's a whole different vibe, than being in the desert or being in fall foliage. It's very different and it's
The
wonderful. So,
smell, the
oh, yeah. It was cool. I went from sweatshirt weather the whole time on the coast over to Colorado, and it was darn right hot. I think it was 90 degrees in Denver when we flew in to go to
yeah,
Colorado. But anyways,
it's
people are
yeah.
probably checking out because we're going on and on. But it was a good trip. Thanks to those who came along. And hey, if you ever want to join me for a trip, come on along, check out the website, and then Cole and I do a number of things together. Most of those are full at this time. Our Death Valley trips are full, but you can always get on the wait list. Faroe Islands for next year is full already. So, but
Well,
we'll be doing other things. And by the way, a little teaser here to see how many people are listening by this point, because probably about 4, according to our metrics on YouTube. But anyways, we are really getting serious about a vision-based workshop. So stay tuned. More to come on that in the near future. Have a good day, folks.
bye.